Welcome to Blind Level Tech. I'm Jonathan Price.
I'm Evan Starnes.
And together, we're bringing you news, tech, and information about blind technologies.
Being blind doesn't mean you have to stop living.
We're going to show you just how possible it is to live the life you want. Can you freaking believe it?
I don't actually know if I can.
We made it. We made
year.
it. Congratulations, Blind Level Tech awesomeness.
Whatever you want to
Hosts,
call it.
Listeners, people, guests who have made it to the show.
Yeah.
Golly.
Thank you for staying on this crazy train with us.
Dude, talk about crazy train. We have had just a mind-blowing year, and I'm so thankful for not only you, Evan, but our guests, our listeners, because we have in our first year over 10,000 downloads.
Yeah.
And it's been absolutely epic to hear your stories, your compliments, your suggestions for the show. And we're constantly taking them to make our show better. And if you have comments, questions, give us an email at feedback@aftersight.org or shoot us a voicemail message at 720-712-8856, and we will put your message on the air if you have a question or if you have a concern. We probably won't play that, but we'll take it into consideration.
For sure.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Evan, what was one of your biggest memories, I guess, over the last year?
Oh my goodness. There's like so many of them. I mean, we've gotten a lot of really cool and unique guests, and I've picked up a lot of information as far as, I don't want to call anybody out in particular. That's the thing. But like we've interviewed people from, Vespero and Be My Eyes and Even Grounds and a bunch of other just amazing little companies or big companies. And, it's been a wild ride. It's been a fun ride. To pick a favorite though, goodness gracious. I mean, I guess one of the most memorable ones, probably because we had him on twice, was probably Mohamed Lajir, actually, with Vespero and Jaws, particularly. But wait, there's more. And
yeah, that was fun.
And actually, in that regard too, Jaws apparently has come out with its own little, even more features since we've done that episode too. So I think we're going to have Mohamed on again for a third time.
So, Mohamed, if you're listening to this, you know where to reach us. So.
Come back on, dude.
It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, Joe Weber, Kelvin Crosby, Blind Grilling Experience, or
Chris Peltz,
Chris
Peltz.
And I mean, all the people who have helped make this show what it is. It's been such a fun ride, and one of our favorite people who have actually moved to Denver recently, Joe Weber and Be My Eyes. They had this very unique integration with Chat GPT-4 and accessibility. And over this show, this 100th episode, we're going to talk about some of the amazing things that happened in 2023 that we didn't get to touch on a whole lot of. So we're going to kind of cram all of these into one episode. So if we go kind of fast, maybe we'll break these out and talk more about these, but it's some very interesting stuff. So the first one was that Chat GPT-4 and Be My Eyes. You can go back and listen to that episode with Joe Weber and accessibility. Evan, what did you think about this collaboration?
It's honestly a game changer. I mean, I have yet to find anything that can compare to it. Integrating Be My Eyes with ChatGPT, it really did. Yeah. It changed the game for accessibility. I mean, originally when Be My AI came out, it wasn't even called that. It was the Be My Eyes Virtual Volunteer. And it was actually, I believe, like a collaboration between between Jiffy to get alt text like descriptions, comprehensive alt text descriptions, everywhere that needed them. But then that eventually became an avenue for image recognition, which is kind of how this all started. They integrated it as a beta with the virtual volunteer, and I actually had the pleasure of beta testing Be My AI and kind of playing with it, taking different pictures and just pushing it to its limits, if you will. And when they released it, it took off. I mean, that's pretty much now, at least from my personal experience, it's one of the only things I use as far as image recognition. I mean, the capabilities of being able to take multiple pictures and have that, and have its contextual abilities come into play are huge. Like, a huge example this morning, actually, I was able to take a picture of a shirt and have it match a good pair of pants to that shirt, for instance, or even just getting instructions off the back of a food box or what have you. It's an incredible tool.
Definitely. Yeah. And it was super cool to have, to kind of help be on the, cutting edge release of that.
Absolutely.
And it was, I don't know, it was awesome. So Joe, if you listen to this, it was awesome having you on the show, and we'll definitely have you back and partnerships.
For sure.
Be My AI and Be My Eyes. And they are growing in popularity. I know when we talked to them, they were in tons of I don't even remember what the crazy numbers were, but tons of countries all over the world, hundreds of thousands of users, and it's really cool. Anything before we move on from ChatGPT?
Not particularly. I will say it is very useful, though, and the actual ChatGPT itself, even their ChatGPT app, especially if you pay for like ChatGPT Plus, which I am paying for, has a lot of really useful features, including a conversational kind of a mode where you can basically talk to it like like your typical voice assistant, except it's not listening for a wake word. But that's been just useful to just talk about and get gobs of information from and kind of go down rabbit holes with. And their app has been a little weird with accessibility, but it's quite usable. So.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like watching Star Trek.
Exactly.
And all of the like computer generated, or commands and prompts and all that kind of stuff. It's getting very close to kind of what that world would be like. And most of our tech now actually comes from shows like Star Trek and Star Wars and some of that science and technology. And, whatever we're dreaming up today is going to be live and accessible 10, 15, 20 years from now. So it's pretty cool. One of the other new things that we have seen in the last year is Netflix's new release of 3 new text options for captioning. And this is for our low vision users. And they have a couple of features where you can integrate new fonts. You can have different sizes. You can kind of customize what you want on there. It does have the traditional, white words on black background. They also added the raised text, or not raised text. Golly, I did this in the pre-show, and now I don't remember
drop
what
shadow?
it is. Thank you.
Drop shadow.
Good grief. A drop shadow text. And so if you don't know what drop shadow is, it's white lettering, and then behind it is kind of shadowy, it kind of raises it off the screen a little bit. And so it's not this solid black box. It's just very light shadowing to kind of bring it out a little bit more. And so it's less obtrusive when you're watching your shows. So that's kind of cool. The other one that they just kind of rolled out is the high contrast text or captioning, where you have yellow text on black background. So that's going to really help with being able to see the captions and see those words. And again, you can change the font, you can change the size of the text, you can place it wherever you want in the screen. So thank you, Netflix, for doing that. What are your thoughts, Evan?
No, I think it's incredibly useful because, closed captioning has been around for decades at this point, but it's always been the same. I mean, same text, same size, same colors. So the fact that you can customize it now to fit your visual needs is is huge, and I really hope to see that roll out to other streaming services. And I'm curious too, from like a totally blind perspective, what could we do with audio descriptions to make this custom? And actually, a thought of mine is it would be cool to be able to change the rate at which descriptions are spoken. So who knows? Maybe we'll see customizable audio descriptions in the future as well.
Well, there you go. And that goes right into our next point, which is live entertainment and accessibility updates for both audio descriptions and ASL communications. And so it's been really interesting over the last year to be in this space and see things like sports and live concert events and award shows and galas and red carpet events. All of these things are now being audio described with either live audio descriptions or pre-recorded audio descriptions. And one of the most leading names in audio descriptions right now, we had her on the show, Nefertiti Matos Olivares, and she was absolutely on fire when she came on the show, The Blind Chick. And so, Nefertiti, if you are listening to the show, God, it was so awesome having you on, and your work and the things that you guys are doing with audio descriptions are absolutely insane. So thank you so much. And this year, I think there was quite a few firsts for audio descriptions. I think there was the Super Bowl was fully audio described. The Grammys, this current 2024 year was audio described, I think, for the first time, along with a couple of others. And I may be misspeaking there.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was, I believe, as well.
Yeah, that was another one. Yeah, absolutely. And it's been amazing. And not to mention more ASL features. And so the sign language, if you're deafblind, you have that ability, or if you're deaf, you have that ability to see what's going on, and you have the ability to kind of interpret and experience all of that stuff, which is super cool. It works just like a caption. It's a little box that operates in whatever corner of the screen you want, and you have a live person
signing,
doing all that it's really, really amazing.
And I think what's making this I think the key to getting audio description and closed captioning and ASL interpretation implemented on a larger scale is awareness. And I think we're doing a great job of making people aware of these features, especially publicly, like, because I as a totally blind person, I've been aware of audio description, for years and years, since I was a little kid. But, plenty of people that I, out in the just regular world that I talk to, never have even heard of audio description or any of that, and don't even know it's a thing. So I think making people more aware of it, which is what we're doing. But I think that's going to really, just increase the amount of audio description and just inclusivity that we see on whatever streaming platform it is, whatever show or movie it is, that's released. It's, I think this is going to start to become more of the norm, and I'm extremely happy and excited for that.
Yeah, and so with all of these things, ChatGPT, Netflix's texting options for captions, live entertainment, all of that gets bundled into these really amazing devices. And Apple actually continues to roll out more accessibility features per user or per platform than anybody. And Apple does such a great job at integrating all of these things into one device so that you could use them. And we have talked a lot about Apple accessibility features over the year. Evan, are there some that stick out to you as things that were just, man, you've got to have this, you got to try it, it's got to be the first thing you do on your phone or your iOS device or your Mac, your OS operating system?
Well, I'm racking my brain right now, but yes, there are a couple of really significant features. The biggest one being the enhanced magnifier features that they've added, including the people detection's been around, but the text detection and the ability to point at text and have it read aloud, which I have tested. It works fairly well, especially with smaller text. Either way, incredible that it's built into the phone, and the live image descriptions, which again, a little clunky, but it's nice to have. Oh my gosh, there's we actually did like an entire episode for specifically iOS 17. So I definitely, if you want to really hear about all of the additions that they've made even this year, go definitely check that episode out.
Yeah.
But the improvements in voiceovers, haptics, and they fixed a lot of the really pesky little bugs with Braille not catching up to the user, and adding things like that sound curtain feature. And
they added a lot. You briefly touched on it. The voiceover, they added quite a few new things to voiceover, new voices, new accents, tons of stuff.
Yeah, I forget to mention that. Yes, eloquence was actually, especially in the blindness community, huge. The fact that they added eloquence. And they also added, for non-voiceover, they added that little personal voice feature. Sadly, you can't use it with voiceover, though, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
But it's still a cool little feature. There's one more thing, and I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
You mean in terms of voiceover?
No, just in terms of accessibility updates they've done.
Oh yeah, one of the ones that I use, and I'm not even blind or deaf, but the one that I use all the time is that typing help, where you can use your microphone to help compose emails and text messages and searches and all that. It's voice to text accessibility stuff, and it saves me a crap ton of time in both email and just production overall. And so I'm really thankful for that.
Yeah, that's how I type. And then they came out, this year with the Vision Pro, and that's been really huge. And naturally, of course, it is accessible. I've yet to get to play with one, and I'm really excited to get to actually experience it. But I've heard a lot of good things from various blind and low vision people that have tested it, and it seems to have some features that we've never even considered that aren't definitely not on the iPhone.
Yeah, for sure. And that's going to be something that we dive into heavily in the next couple of weeks, because we're going to have on a guest who really does, I think it's a 3 or 4 part series on the Vision Pro, and he's kind of become a pro at it. So I'm not going to drop the name yet, but he'll be on our show in a couple of weeks. So make sure to drop into that. So with all of the tech things that we have covered today, and all the tech things that we have covered in 2023. Technically it's 2023 and 24, but for BLT as a whole, we've celebrated a year. Where are you thinking, and what are you expecting from BLT in the next year of our shows?
More growth. Definitely there's definitively going to be some change with the show itself. We're looking at a new co-host. Yeah, a new co-host, and I'm actually going to be taking over as host of BLT. And I know I've personally gotten some comments from listeners about they want to hear more demos of products. I really hope you guys like that. By the way, I really hope you like that demo of the air fryer from last episode. But people want to hear, the products we're talking about, so that they know what to expect when they get it themselves. So I'm really kind of hoping to increase the number of those, and we're totally going to keep obviously what we've already started, the sandwich of the week, that ain't ever going away. And in fact, it's really popular. And we've had future guests even I've already got my sandwich of the week picked out.
Yeah, exactly.
It is awesome. So BLT is going to keep its awesomeness and get even more awesome, if that makes sense.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens, and it's exciting to see the growth. And we can't do that without you guys, and we can't do that without loyal listeners and you guys sharing it out there. So we're very thankful for that. And I see even more amazing guests and more amazing demos, and new sound, new look, new all this kind of stuff. I know we're only a year in, but times change, and we want to change with
We want to
all
keep
of
with
the
the
stuff
times.
that's coming out. Yeah. I mean, just look at what's happening in accessibility. If we're not changing along with the accessibility world, then what are we doing? We're just going to be sticks in the mud, and we're not going to change, and we're going to lose you guys. And we don't want to do that. We want to be on the cutting edge of where technology is. And so I appreciate everybody and all the hard work that goes into all the tech out there.
Absolutely.
And, it's just been awesome. So we have our most famous segment coming up, the sandwich of the week. But this year, or this time, we're going to be doing the sandwich of the year. So without further ado, here is our sandwich of the week. So I know it's the sandwich of the week, but we have our sandwich of the year. Evan, do you have a sandwich of the year, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I think I've got one, though.
Okay. So I think back in the fall, I had mentioned one of my favorite sandwiches at Einstein Brothers Bagels, and it was a breakfast sandwich, and it was that cinnamon crusted bagel with the ham and cheese and bacon and just amazing goodness. And I have not had one yet. So this weekend, I vow, as a promise, as a solemn, as a display of solidarity to our loyal listeners,
You're gonna have one.
I'm gonna go get one of them sandwiches, man. I'm hungry.
And share your feedback on the show about it, because
that's right. I'll do an ASMR, and I'll just put that microphone right up close to my mouth and get it.
Like I've done to you with the stupid water bottles in the past.
Dude, whatever.
we didn't keep those in. Those was fun though. That was fun.
But yeah, it's such an amazing sandwich, and we've had a lot of good sandwiches. And so if you guys have any of those sandwiches, send them our way. We'd love to have those suggestions, because it makes for very interesting ideas. Evan, what's your sandwich?
Well, I feel like this has been a bit of a repeat, which actually is why it totally deserves the spot of the sandwich of the year. My sandwich specifically is a buffalo chicken from Charlie's, because
oh yeah, there you go,
dude. Honestly, buffalo chicken sandwiches have become my favorite. I have not found anything that compares to them. And I love buffalo chicken. I love anything hot and spicy.
Yep.
And there's just so much you can do with it. Tomato. Well, I don't know. Not tomatoes for me, but lettuce and pickles and cucumbers. Oh my!
If I have a dare for you.
Okay.
On your buffalo chicken sandwich, I want you to go throw some jalapenos on there.
I actually did.
Nice. Okay. Well, there you go.
It enhanced the spiciness.
The burn factor definitely ticks up a little bit.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
It sure does.
I love it. I love a good Charlie sub. Yeah. So if you guys have any comments, feedback, or suggestions, again, email us at feedback@aftersight.org, or you can give us a phone call at
720-712-8856.
And all those messages go to me, and then I divvy them out to our host, and you can give us your feedback, your suggestions, and all that. So make sure you do that. Any final thoughts from you, Evan, as we close out our first year of Blind Level Tech?
Holy cow. This is just kind of thinking about where we are now, where we started, how we got here. Blows my mind. Like, no joke, blows my mind. I feel like you, Jonathan, have really helped me grow as a co-host. And I mean, Jonathan tells me this all the time. Like, if you go listen to like an episode from, like March of last year, and then like an episode from this year, or even, the very end of last year, the dynamics really, like, I feel like we established the dynamic. I kind of grew into that. And, and I really love the friends that we've made, of the friends of the show that, we've established. And I really hope to make more of those lovely connections, because it's fun. And I learn stuff, you learn stuff, we get people, we give folks the opportunity to make their voices heard, and, and get out there and get some recognition too, which I am incredibly happy about.
Yeah, for sure. The only other thing I want to mention is we do have a promo going on right now, where if you want to give a shout out, you can send something, a special message to somebody who you love or whatever.
Yeah.
The promo right now is if you go to www.aftersight.org/podcast dash, now I'm blanking on it.
Dash shout out.
Thank you. You can put in the promo code. Is it egg?
It's egg with a capital E.
There you go. And you will get 50% off of your shout out. And so we'll read those live on air to whoever you want. And it can be on whatever show you want that to be. We also have a merch store.
Yeah.
We've never mentioned our merch store. So if you guys want BLT merch, you want shirts, you want logos and stickers, we do have that merch. So feel free to visit our merch store. You can get there from our website, aftersight.org.
We've got phone cases. That's a thing. We've got like phone cases and AirPod cases. Like we've got some really unique stuff.
Coffee tumblers and all that kind of fun stuff.
I've got one right here.
There you go. Yeah, it's awesome. So protect that technology with a BLT branded phone case. I mean, what's not to love about a branded phone case? So
I need to get one.
If you rock those, send us a picture and we'll make sure to give you a shout out on our socials. So, Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that is all I have. I am so thankful for all of you. Again, I know I can't say this enough. We're so thankful for all of you, and I'm thankful for Evan and the entire AINC staff. So on behalf of everybody, my name is Jonathan Price.
Don't forget to plug in your devices.